So the Massachusetts Department of Transportation has one big advantage in our partnership work with cities and towns, which is that we have the 6 highway district offices. And as I've gone around the state since becoming secretary, I have heard just great feedback about how closely those district offices are working with our cities and towns. So again, we're here to really listen, and I appreciate feedback, good and bad, on that. But it's our way of working with you. 90% of the road miles in Massachusetts are actually owned and controlled by cities and towns, only 10% by MassDOT. So if we're not working in partnership with you, then we're not going to have the transportation system that we need as a Commonwealth. So there's about half a dozen best practices that are listed on the Community Compact around transportation, and I just want to quickly talk about a couple of them, and there'll be more information in the workshop later in the morning. Some of them are pretty boring and inside ball, but for example, I will tell you that the best practice that we developed around making sure that there's timely submission of citations, state law actually requires your police department to submit citations within 7 days. When that doesn't happen, your citizens run into trouble when they come to my registry of motor vehicles. But when it does happen, you also get the citation money faster. So it's a win for you, it's a win for your citizens, it's a win for me at the registry, and that's a best practice you should take a look at. Another of the best practices that's going to be highlighted in the workshop this afternoon is the formation of transportation management associations, which are a collaboration of employers and local government to help make sure that employers can attract and keep the workforce they need by solving transportation problems. We made a commitment in FY16 that we will keep in FY17 to provide seed money for new transportation management associations. Every existing and new TMA in the state got money in the FY16 budget. We will do the same in the FY17 budget. And so if you're interested in forming one of the newer ones will be at that workshop, and it's something you should be thinking about. Another program that's incredibly popular with communities is our Safe Routes to School program. We have 700 schools enrolled statewide that serve over 200,000, mostly elementary school students. Tuesday, I had the pleasure of going to the Ross Elementary School in Braintree with Mayor Sullivan, who went to that elementary school for Trekking Tuesday, at which the kids all did walking school buses. And that's a really easy program, whether or not you're a community compact community. You go online on Safe Routes to School. There's a partnership enrollment form. You click on it, you fill it out. We now have Safe Routes to School coordinators in our districts throughout the state, and someone will get back to you, and you can add your schools to those 700. The last program that I want to highlight is one that I know there's a lot of interest in through the Community Compact, and that's our Complete Streets program. And I think the way we've gone about the Complete Streets program is an example of this idea that we need to really listen to communities. The legislature created this program in the last transportation bond bill. It's designed to be funded with bond money. It was designed for communities that had adopted at the municipal level a complete streets policy. But in order to access money for complete streets construction project, in addition to adopting the policy, there were a lot of other requirements, like you had to have complete inventories of certain things, and you had to make commitments that you would, for every municipally funded project, you would take certain steps. And I was concerned when I became secretary that the program was not set up in a way that was going to work for many communities. There's only 24 communities that currently have complete streets policies, and even of those communities, many, when we met with them and we reached out to nearly 24 communities to get their feedback before we started any program design, many said it's actually not worth it to us to get a $500,000 or a $750,000 grant to do all the things that are required. So what we have done is we are funding the first 2 years of that program for this fiscal year and next fiscal year, not out of bond money, which means we do not have to follow the strict statutory language. We're funding it out of, believe it or not, gaming money. A portion of the application fees for the casinos comes to the Department of Transportation, and the Secretary has discretion. And that's allowed us to create a 3-tiered program that there's some information on in your packets, and we'll be talking about at the workshop. The first tier is using the Bay States Road Program, which is a great partner for us and for many of you. They're going to be doing a whole series on complete streets. So if your community hasn't even started to think about it, you can come to a Bay States Road Program and learn about it and begin the process of getting up to speed. The second tier is a technical assistance program. You do not have to have adopted a complete streets policy to get technical assistance money. We will work with you not only on adopting the policy, but also on creating what's called a prioritization plan. You're not going to make every single street in your city or town a complete street. And we know that. We don't expect you to. But there are streets that are more important than others, streets that serve your elementary schools, streets that serve your downtown business districts, streets that are on important transit routes. So the idea of the prioritization plan is it will help you think with the technical assistance money about which streets need to be complete streets. And then there is construction money. The construction money this year will be limited to the 24 communities that have adopted policies. But in year 2, in FY17, for which we've already set aside money, any construction project on a street that's in your prioritization plan will be eligible. And community compact communities, all community compact communities will be given extra scoring points, both for the technical assistance and the construction grants. And community compact communities that pick complete streets as one of their best practices will get even more points. So if you're not a community compact community or you didn't select complete streets and you're interested in that program, you just have to be there by February when we start the application process. So you still have some time to join the compact program or to indicate that complete streets are a priority for you. So that's what we're doing at the Department of Transportation. I hope many of you will come to the workshop. We have folks there both from Bay States Road and from our Complete Streets program to give you more information.